Cape Town Satanco taxi operators have vowed to continue their stay away this morning. Yesterday, buses were burned, but Western Cape authorities have promised more police on the ground today. Santaco in the Western Cape is calling for an end of what they say are unfair impoundments of their vehicles, as well as the return of a recently terminated Blue Dot incentive. This saw the taxi industry being compensated for good behaviour on the roads. eNCA's reporter Nobesuthu Hejana has the very latest for us and joins us. Good morning, Nobesuthu. How's the situation this morning? Is it anywhere close to the destruction we reported yesterday?
Well, Mfundo, this morning was a bit more quiet and still is. And we were in eNCA this morning where we saw a number of people actually walking to their places of work, and some were waiting for the Golden Arrow buses. But what we've seen in different areas is that police and law enforcement agencies have been deployed to safeguard and also to escort these buses that are transporting people, to avoid what happened yesterday. When we spoke to the MEC for Mobility, MEC Dalen Mitchell, he did say that he was quite disappointed at the violent incidents or actions that took place yesterday, and said that there will be more boots on the ground. And currently we are here in Bellville at the bus terminus, where quite a number of people are actually boarding buses. But at this stage, I mean, obviously a lot of people have made their way to work. It's maybe those who are have like late shift or so forth, but at this stage it's fairly quiet. I'm not sure if you wanted, okay, no, I was just checking if there are any commuters who wanted to chat to us about how this stairway has affected them, but the gentleman is a bit more shy. But what we're seeing in different areas is that, I mean, police are there, law enforcement agencies are there to safeguard and to ensure that none of the incidents that we saw yesterday are happening this morning.
But how much of an inconvenience was it yesterday for those who ordinarily would take taxis, as well as those that are writing exams now, the learners?
I mean, yesterday, because it was day one of the stairway, not a lot of people have been able to make alternative arrangements when we saw them waiting for transportation. But at least this morning we do see that because of the contingency plans that have been put in place by the provincial government in terms of like the law enforcement agencies, the people are actually boarding their buses. So we're not seeing many people who are stranded this morning because of those plans. And we also know that the Western Cape Education Department has also made arrangements for matric pupils who are writing to actually be able or allowed to write at the examinations nearest to their homes. So what they need to do is to provide an ID and the proof of the timetable, just to show that they are writing today and which specific subject that they're writing. But in terms of like people being stranded, we're not seeing a lot today, as we do know that the Golden Arrow buses are operational in all the areas.
What I'm getting from you is that there's a comprehensive response to the protest insofar as capacitating the officers on the ground. But is there an indication that there will be some sort of a response to the protest itself, or at least the demands on the table around the Blue Dot incentive and around the impounding of those vehicles? Are there any talks scheduled for today?
Well, not at this stage, but we do know that the office of the MEC of Mobility, Dalen Mitchell, when I spoke to him yesterday, he did say that his office is open to talk, but what they can't do is to bring back the Blue Dot incentive program because the province has run out of funds. It was a pilot project it commenced in 2020, and it was meant to sort of like encourage good behavior on the roads. And most of the taxis that were part of it, about 880 who were part of it, they did indicate, especially the SANTACO, when I spoke to the deputy chairperson yesterday, he did indicate it was a successful pilot project where they had hoped that it will continue throughout. But obviously the provincial transport department saying that it can no longer afford, and they've been writing to the national transport minister to sort of assist in terms of like the funding of this project, but they have not heard anything from the National Transport Department, but we also do know that the city of Cape Town is joining forces with the SAPS to ensure that these areas or where these buses are operating, they are safe, and commuters are also safe, as we saw yesterday when they were torching that My City bus in Khayelitsha, where people were actually taken off the bus. And when I spoke to one of the commuter who was a grade 12 pupil who was complaining that, she's very much traumatized. She's not sure if she will be able to write or focus for her examination, but she was thankful that she got a lift from the police, who were able to transport her to the school that she would be writing, which is not her original school, but because of those contingency plans that have been made by the Western Cape Education Department to allow students to be able to write their exams at any examination centers that are closer or nearest to their homes.